No, 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 don't touch this. This is a super special cookie that I paid $647 for.
You paid $647 for a cookie?
Yeah, it was eaten by the LeBron James. Check that out. Yeah. Yeah, I even have a certificate of authenticity proving that bite was taken by LeBron James.
This certificate hereby verifies that this cookie was bitten by LeBron germs? Who's LeBron germs?
LeBron.
So, how does it taste?
Like sugary disappointment.
Yeah, I'll bet. By the way, what in the world possessed you to buy a cookie for $647? That's crazy.
I know, Jen, it was a big mistake. It's just I'm a huge LeBron James fan. No one loves LeBron more than me. And when I saw that I could own something that LeBron himself had touched, I just couldn't pass it up.
You know what that sounds like? Hero worship. That's when we honor and adore the people we look up to more than we should. And I totally get it. There are some athletes and celebrities that I'm crazy about. But I have to be careful because there's only one person who is truly deserving of my worship.
That's so true. And you know what? I think today's Bible story shows that exact same thing. It's about some wise men who honored and adored a king, but not just some ordinary king. It was the King of Kings. Actually, I think you should read the story for yourself. In just a second, press pause, open up your Bible, and read the verses on the screen. And when you're done, press play again and join us. Isn't that amazing? The wise men traveled hundreds of miles just to visit a baby. Now, a lot of times we hear about the story of the wise men. We really don't know how many there were. We just know there was more than one, and sometimes people think there was three because they gave Jesus 3 gifts.
Hey, speaking of the 3 gifts, didn't these gifts seem really strange? I mean, Jesus was a little kid. You'd think they would have brought him some diapers, a onesie, or a stuffed donkey, but instead they brought him gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Would a baby even want those gifts?
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out. I think it's challenge time. How about this? Jesus was probably about 2 when the wise men showed up and gave him gifts. So let's get a 2-year-old and see what they actually like best. We'll each offer the baby a gift and see whose gift the baby goes for. All right, so I brought a subject matter expert today to figure out really who can give the best gifts. He's super excited, so Jen and I are about to compete and see who has the best gifts for this guy. He's totally ready. All right, Uriah, so your first choice. You can have the gold or you can have the little toy cell phone. Which one you want? Gold. Ooh, ooh. Which one you want? It's so pretty. Huh? Ah! 1 point for you, Jennifer, but you know what? Who likes gold anyway? So my next choice, Uriah, this is frankincense. Ooh, do you want some frankincense? Or just a silly lizard toy? Ah! Who would take a lizard over frankincense? All right, Jen, you've won the challenge, but let's go. We got one more toy. This, Uriah, is myrrh. Can you say myrrh? Ah! 0 for 3! Jen, congrats. Uriah, Nux. Well, I guess that answers our questions. You win the challenge. But babies aren't really that into gold, frankincense, or myrrh.
Yeah, no, not at all. Makes me wonder, why in the world would the wise men give them gifts like that to baby Jesus? I mean, Were they just really bad gift givers?
Great question. It's hard to imagine what a baby would do with gold, frankincense, and myrrh. They can't play with it or sleep with it or eat it. But you know, when you know more about these gifts, it makes sense, and it tells you something really cool about Jesus. So check this out. Gold. It's very valuable, but what it meant was it was a symbol of power and royalty. Frankincense was made from dried tree sap, and when you burned it, it made a sweet smell. People burned it while making sacrifices to God. And myrrh was also made from tree sap, but it was a spice that could be used as pain medicine, but it was also used to prepare bodies when people died and were going to be buried. The wise men gave these gifts knowing that Jesus was the King of Kings, a sweet-smelling sacrifice to God who would suffer and die to take away the sins of the world.
That's so awesome. Honestly, that helps me understand why those gifts were actually so special. But you know what? There was one more gift the wise men gave Jesus that I think is even more special, and we can read about it in our Bible verse today. Matthew 2:2 says, "Where is the child who has been born to be the King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose. Now we have come to worship him." You see, the greatest gift that the wise men brought baby Jesus was the gift of worship. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh were gifts that you would give to a king, but worship is a gift that you would give to God. When the wise men bowed down and worshiped baby Jesus, it was their way of saying that Jesus is God.
Whoa. I think that brings up a really good question. There's a lot of ways that you can worship Jesus. Remember, worship means that you honor and adore someone. You can honor and adore Jesus in all kinds of ways, like singing, like writing, like drawing, serving others, and even giving. So here's my question. What's your favorite way to worship Jesus and why? Press pause
and discuss. Here's what I find encouraging about what we just learned. We might not be able to give Jesus gold, frankincense, and myrrh, but we can worship him just like the wise men did.
Jen, that's so true. When you worship Jesus, it means that you show him and tell him that you love him with your whole life. And best of all, you don't have to travel hundreds of miles like the wise men did to worship Jesus. You can do it anywhere, at any time.
Also, you don't have to pay $647 to worship Jesus.
That's a reference to my LeBron Germs cookie, isn't it? Don't remind me. That was such a huge mistake.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week.